Hi everybody, it's Abigail here and welcome back to another WIP and Chat. Now if you're new here, WIP stands for Work in Progress. So I'm currently working on my drills and chills project that I haven't actually touched in a couple of weeks because I have been cross-stitching like crazy. So yeah, for those of you who don't know, I have a goddaughter who is due next month. And last year, well, a couple of years ago now actually, well, probably about a year and a half ago, I was cross-stitching a motif for my godson Dexter, and I'm doing the same thing for his sister. So yeah, I've been basically trying to get that done. Let's try and get you down a bit. Sorry, I might be at an angle because I kind of put this up in a hurry. Whew. So, how have you guys all been? I hope you're all doing really well. I've been okay. I mean, I've got really tired lately. So that's kind of why I didn't record last week, because I was just like, I had no energy. And also I have been researching a lot for this week's creepy stories, which I'm hoping to either record today or I'll be doing it or I'll be recording it tomorrow. So I will tell you what I'm doing. Basically, we've had 2 vampire movies playing for our Halloween season at the cinema that I work at. And yeah, they were the but which one? The Gary Oldman version of Dracula, and then yesterday they played Lost Boys. So I was like, I'm gonna do vampires, and oh my gosh, I have opened a massive can of worms because it's like there is so much about vampires. I guess because, you know, like I mentioned in the video, every sort of culture, every religion, you know, every country has its own version of a vampire. And it's like sort of reading all of it, I'm like, oh my lord. So it's kind of, I'm trying to find sort of stuff that, you know, would be interesting. That's, you know, not the stuff that everybody knows about vampires, obviously. But try and find some other things about, you know, the undead. And I must say, I have found some stuff, you know, I have found some stuff that is quite interesting about vampires. But then there's also like that stuff that you're like, really? But yeah, no, so yeah, I will be doing vampires this week. Which, yeah, I'm really excited for, and then hopefully I'll be able to get right back on track. Hopefully next week I will pick a creature or something that isn't like, that hasn't got like so much about it, because I think that's the thing. I was kind of, you know, feeling overwhelmed with, you know, I had like about 4 tabs open up at one point, and I watched different documentaries about vampires as well, and it's like, huh? And I think my mind just got a little bit frazzled as well. And also, like I say, I am overexhausted as hell. But I've got 2 weeks coming up that I will be taking as annual leave in November, so yay, go me. That would be fun. You know, I'm just going to have 2 weeks just to myself, just rest. So, obviously I'll still be doing some videos, but yeah, I might take at least 1 week off, which will be the week of my birthday. Because, yeah, I kind of want some me time. And I don't sort of want to be sort of worrying about editing a video like on my birthday, because normally my editing date is like a Thursdays and Fridays. But yeah, I really don't want to be kind of like sort of doing that on my birthday. I want to enjoy my birthday a little bit this year. But, oh, yeah, no, it's just, yeah. Things for me are a little bit stressful at the moment, yes. You know, with this whole stuff with the cinema chain that I work with, obviously, they declared Article 11 a few months ago. You know, those of you that sort of, you know, have paid attention to the news, you'll now know what cinema chain I work for, which, you know, it's fine. But, oh my gosh, there is a drill that is just refusing to turn the right way up. Come on, there we go. There we go, is that everyone? Oh no, there's one more, of course there is. But, yeah, so, my fiance Josh is looking to start up streaming again, so next week he will be starting to stream again, which will mean he's not popping in reading random facts. He's at work at the moment, so I haven't got him reading random facts to us. You know, as amusing as I find it when he does that, it is a bit like, Josh, can you like kind of go away, please? So, yeah, most likely, I think he said he was going Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Fridays, he said that he was doing. So, yeah, you'll probably be hearing that. Also, the week before my birthday, the new Pokemon game comes out, and me and Josh are thinking about streaming that again together, which will be fun if we do that. You know, it's like, it was really fun when we did it last year. You know, I really did enjoy it last year, but it was show week when we did it last year. So I was in what was it? A bunch of amateurs at the Amdram group that I am part of. We are going to be doing, me and possibly my mum are going to be doing a show with them next year. And I know the director wants me to be in a production at another Amdram that they are part of in, I think they said June, late June, which will probably mean I will not be able to do that because that is when I will be getting married. And yeah, I'm still waiting to hear about my dress. It has been shipped. I have been told it has been shipped, and they're quality checking it and getting it all clean, making sure it's like all clean and everything. And probably in the next few weeks I will be going down there and getting my first fitting done, which will be amazing. And I can't wait for that. Yeah, there are other, oh gosh, yeah, no, me and Josh are going to need to arrange car at some point. For our wedding. Oh my gosh, all these things that are like suddenly popping into my head that need to be arranged still. So okay. Is there anything else? Yeah, I need to do flowers. Sorry, I'm just reading off all the things that I need to do before my wedding. So yeah, I know I had other things to talk about. This is not going to be like a 10-minute video. It might be a half-hour video, but it won't be a 10-minute video. Oh yeah, I should probably go on about Josh. So, Josh is actually leaving the cinema that we work at. Tonight is actually his last shift. So, yeah, that's a little bit, you know, weird and a little bit emotional for me, because I'm like, okay, you're leaving. He was trying to find a job. He applied for a store that does like games, but they wanted him to travel to sort of near Portsmouth way, as well as, you know, run, you know, sort of work in the Bognor store. And he doesn't have a car, and obviously if it's like sort of an early morning thing, I can't, you know, drive and pick him up. So, you know, it was like, he had to say, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to have to turn this job down because I have no way of getting there. And then there was a store, sort of a hardware store. I was going to say convenience store, but it's not a convenience store, it's a hardware store that in town that he had applied for. He had an interview, and this was just, bear in mind, this is just for a team member position. They said they wanted 100% availability, so that you would be available to be called on sort of like 9 till 5, Monday to Sunday. And, you know, he was like, he keeps his Thursday and his Wednesday evenings free. And obviously if he's streaming as well, he won't be able to sort of do 24/7, and he'll want to keep that schedule for as long as he can. And he was like, I'm really sorry, but I can't take this job. You know, I have to decline the interview. And then the interviewers were like, oh, no, we still want to interview you. And it's like, what? You just said that you want 100% availability. And then when he says, I can't give that, and you still want to do an interview, it's like, nah, you don't tell someone you want 100% and then expect them to suddenly be like, oh yeah, I'll still do the interview. I mean, I'm sorry, but what if, say, we had a child and he had to, like, leave at a certain time to pick said child up? Would they be like, oh, no, your wife is going to have to do that, because you need to be here from XY to XY? And it's like, you know, you can't suddenly just say one thing. And it's like, you know, if this was like, if the job that Josh had applied for was a team leader position, you know, I'd have been like, well, okay. But the fact that they were like, you know, we want you, effectively, we want you available 24/7, is like, that's not going to work for a lot of people. And the fact that they were saying, oh, we expect this from all our employees, it's like, well, I shudder to think what your turnover is, and I shudder to think what you're like with trying to get time off, because obviously, as I was mentioning, the wedding, I could just imagine them saying, oh, I'm afraid we can't accept your annual leave, because we're all fully booked, so you can't go to your own wedding. And it's like, yeah, nah. I mean, like I say, last week, so this WIP and Chat is probably going to be sort of rambling over the last couple of weeks. I should probably say that. You know, it's like, you know, me and Josh were both, I have just taken a whole load of annual leave, like I said, in November, because my manager, Ben, was like, because I work, you know, 30 hours a week, guaranteed. So basically my admin hours are guaranteed hours. You know, they are on set days, so I know exactly when I'm working. So now I'm only working, you know, I'm basically exclusively in the office now. I don't really go out onto the shop floor anymore, which is lovely. I don't have to deal with customers, I don't have to deal with ID disputes. You know, I don't have to deal with any of that riffraff, and it is lovely. However, my job is a lot more important. I basically make sure that the building doesn't fall apart, and I order the stuff that we need. But it's like, but no, last week my manager came up and was like, yeah, you really need to take some annual leave. You've got a lot of accumulating. And then sort of when he saw me yesterday when I was working Monday, he was like, I'm so glad you've taken a whole load of annual leave. I was like, yeah. And I explained why, because I'm going to go back to my best friend being pregnant. So yeah, basically they will be inducing her about that time, just because of, you know, this pregnancy has been completely different to the pregnancy she had with Dexter. So, you know, with Dexter, it was like, you know, it was very smooth sailing. You know, she had a very sort of quiet pregnancy, I'd say. But, this one, it's like every sort of complication that could happen has happened. Like, she's got gestational diabetes, you know, she's going to have another big baby, and I actually went to a scan last Wednesday. This is such a funny story. This honestly, I'm still getting my 50 chuckles in. So, last Wednesday, you know, Robin was like, I've got a scan, I've got no one to go with, can you please, you know, if you would like to, could you come with me? And I was like, oh, I'd love to, I'm actually off, yay! So, yeah, I went with her to the scan, and, you know, we got there, and she checked in, and then the receptionist just turned around and went, who's this with you? And we were like, what? And, you know, at first, the first thought that I think both me and Robin had was, oh my God, are they not going to let me in? But and she was like, oh, she's the godmother / auntie to my child. And she was like, how old is she? And I'm thinking, what the hell? So I tell them my age. So we tell them my age, and they're like, and she's like, oh, sorry, you just look really, really young. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they thought I was under 18. Because at the moment, with the whole the whole panini still happening, you know, they're not allowing kids into like the scan or even in the waiting room. So I was a bit like, what the hell? You know, initially we didn't put like 2 and 2 together that we thought that I was under 18. And it was kind of like, oh my gosh. And it was like the tone that she said it as well. You know, this woman, I have to say, this receptionist should not be working in customer service. She should not be working in like a public facing job. And I'll tell you why. So while me and Robin were like waiting for her to see the doctor, we were waiting quite a while actually, and we saw 2 families that came in with like a child or a young baby. Like a young child and a baby. And the first person that came in, she was like, I see you've got a baby. Baby's not allowed. And the guy was like, what? And they were like, what, in the scan or? And they were like, no, in like the waiting area or the scan or to see the doctor. And they were like, what? And she was like, oh, you should have got a letter about it saying that children are not allowed due to the panini. And so I was like, oh my gosh. And like me and Robin were sort of both really, really shocked of the way that, you know, she had said that. And we were thinking, you know, oh my gosh, that's horrible. You don't just say that. I mean, it's like, what if, say, a single mum had come in, she couldn't get childcare, and they were like, oh, yeah, you can't bring the baby in. Baby's going to have to wait outside. And it's like, well, there's no one that can take it. And there was one couple, the second couple, she actually said it a little bit nicer. And, you know, she said, oh, you should have got a letter in your thing. And she said, and the mum, the pregnant mum just said, I didn't get that letter. And I just thought, me and Robin just looked at each other and we were just like, someone's not doing their job. Or someone had forgotten to do their job. Because even Robin was like, yeah, you know what, I don't think I got a letter saying that baby wasn't allowed. Because at one point they had brought, she and her husband Will had brought Dexter, and a woman had said, yeah, she's not, that Dexter wasn't allowed, so they had to wait outside the building. Which, you know, I can understand, like, the whole risk it is, you know, the infection rate is higher in children for them to pass it on to an adult. I get that, but it's like, you know, it's the way that she was, like, handling it was not the best. And even I was like, you know, I even said how I'd say it. I was like, I'm really sorry. I know you've got a child, but I'm afraid due to what's going on in the current climate, we're not allowing children. And if they said, oh, we didn't get a letter about that, I'd be like, really? Because you were meant to. I'm really sorry about that. Let me go and have a little check to see why that wasn't enclosed, because that should have been. And, you know, if this was like a single mum and she didn't have anyone that could have taken care of the kid, I'd have been like, let me see what I can do. Because, you know, this isn't your fault. And, you know, the second mum was like, well, can I at least rearrange a scan? And the receptionist was like, oh, I don't think we can, you know, you probably won't get one. Scans are in really high demand at the moment. And it's like, oh my gosh. And all me and Robin could think, you know, say, what if one of their husbands was like, you know, working in the army or something, and that was like their only opportunity to see the baby. You know, that would be heartbreaking. And yeah, no, this woman came back and was like, yeah, we can't rearrange the scan, you have to have it today, basically. And I just, you know, both me and Robin, both our hearts like went out to both of these families. Like, that's horrible. You know, I understand it, but it's, you know, if say that did happen where like I say, if there was a single mum, you know, and they said, well, the baby can't be in here, but then at the same time it's like, you can't leave the child by itself. So it's yeah, no. And I think the woman had heard me and Robin talking about it, because people say that mine and Robin, when we get together, our voices, they do carry. You know, our whispering can be quite loud. You know, we don't mean it, but it's like, I was a bit like, oh my god. You know. But, yeah, so, yeah, we saw the, doctor, and, you know, it's like they were saying, we try not to induce at 38 weeks, because apparently, I didn't know this, it can apparently raise, the chances of the child developing autism. Apparently. And in my mind, I'm like, and what's wrong with that? You know, someone, you know, I've grown up with people with autism. You know, someone with autism is, you know, completely normal to me. You know, if I had an autistic child, I'd be like, yeah. You know, that obviously that, you know, you give them some leeway, but in all fairness, you do treat them like a normal child. You know, just because a child has autism, it doesn't make them any different, and it doesn't make them like any less special. But it was like, yeah, they were basically saying, you know, and, you know, Robin was like, will I be delivering naturally? And they were going, yes, you will be delivering naturally. Now, in my mind, I was a bit like, are you flipping serious? I even had this discussion with my boss about this, who, you know, he was like, he didn't quite feel comfortable enough to sort of share his whole opinions on the whole thing, which I can completely understand. He was like, you know, being a man, I don't feel that I'm completely qualified, and, you know, that is completely understandable. I completely understand where Ben is coming from with that. But it was like, it was sort of the way that the doctor was saying it. So Dexter was 10.5 pounds, and like Robin was, and it was a very, very traumatic birth for her. You know, she tore down there badly, and, you know, she was saying, you know, and when she was in labour and giving birth to Dexter, she was saying, I'm exhausted, I'm really tired, I can't push anymore. And they were like, no, it's fine. And then when Dexter came out at 10.5 pounds and they saw how big he was, they were like, oh, okay, maybe we should have listened a bit more. But I got a little bit shocked, because I was a bit like, hold on. I kept my opinions to myself. But all I could think is, right, back up. You are basically saying, oh, yeah, you popped out a 10.5 baby, like, a year and a half ago. You can basically do it again. And I was kind of a bit like, oh my gosh. I was I was sort of so shocked with how blasé they were, like, oh yeah, you'll be fine. And it was, oh, I kind of did feel a little bit mad. I mean, Robin knows that I hope they do C-section with this one. You know, I get, like, you know, C-section isn't, is sort of like the emergency option, but I'm just thinking, you know, if, say, that baby does, you know, grow even bigger, because at one point it did look like she was going to be bigger than Dexter when she came out. And I was kind of like, okay, and they're expecting you to push it out naturally. You know, and like I say, I was having this discussion with my boss, and, you know, he was saying, you know, things like that, it should be an option. And I was like, yeah, I completely agree. It should be an option. You know, I get Robin, you know, she feels like she needs her independence by driving, but let's just say if they did decide to C-section her, I wouldn't be shocked. And, yeah, they're inducing her at 39 weeks, which is the last week in November, so roughly around my birthday. But they said they might induce her a few days early. And, you know, her biggest fear is actually going into labour in the middle of the night. You know, she is nervous about that. And I just said to her, Robin, if that happens, you call me. I will get out of bed and I will drive you and Will to the hospital. You know, I'll get Dexter settled. You know, he'll go to sleep here. He'll go back to sleep here until, you know, maybe something else can be sorted. Because her dad and her stepmom, I think they said, we're going to take Dexter. Because her mum and her stepdad are away when Robin is being induced. So, yeah. But, you know, I said to her, you know, you call me if that happens. You freaking call me. So, yeah, I am basically, and she had asked that I would be on standby in case that did happen, and I was like, yeah, don't worry. I will be on standby if that happens. You don't have to worry about that. So, yeah, and like I say, Robin is literally only around the corner from me, so it wouldn't be an issue. But, I will admit, I did have a dream sort of a few nights later that I had that call and like Robin started sort of giving birth in the car, and, you know, I was having to, and I was like having to deliver her baby. But yeah, it was just like, what the hell? But yeah, no, if that did happen, let's just say I wouldn't be surprised. I'd probably be a bit like, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to play midwife. But I'd be like, okay. But yeah, no, I mean, Robin is like a sister to me. I would do a lot of things for her. If it meant like I had to deliver her child, I would. you know, probably wouldn't be like, you know, the thing that either of me would want, either of us would want, because obviously I'd have to look down there, as it were. And you know, I'd kind of be a bit like, okay, we've both got one, but you know, this is like the test of our friendship. I think that would probably be the ultimate test of friendship, of like, you know, having to deliver your best friend's baby. Oh, and it would probably be like the weirdest thing as well, because obviously I'd have, you know, the godson in the car. I'd be like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. I'd be trying to keep calm. Will would probably be trying to keep Rowan calm and Dexter calm. And oh my gosh, it would, you know, it would be one of those things that we'd like look back in years to come and we'd have a good laugh about. Oh, but at the time we'd be like, this is happening right now. And I think I'd probably be like, Robin, you have to trust me right now. You've got to trust me more than you ever have. And I'd be like, I would be like, literally, I would probably be like holding her hand and going, it's alright. I mean, I know they'd like talk me through it, like the dispatch line would probably talk me through how to deliver a baby, but you know, it's kind of like given the choice, you know, I would probably prefer not to, but given, you know, if I had to, you know, I would. But that would probably definitely come up in her speech. You know, I have known Abigail for many years, but I think probably, and I think she would agree with, the most crazy time was when she had to deliver my 6-month-old. Well, actually, no, she'd be a bit older. She'd be 8-month. My 8-month-old in the back of her car. I'd be like, yeah. And I mean, it's like, she always talks about, like, when she was giving birth to Dexter, is basically, like, the doctors and midwives were, like, getting everyone to look down there. Like, you know, one doctor called one doctor and was like, here, have a look at this. It's like, and it's kind of like, you know, oh yeah, the whole world is like looking. It would be like, yep, the whole world is looking. But I think it would probably be, because her second one, she'd be like, yeah, the whole world has like looked down there now. And I'd be like, yeah, but I'm not going to be calling anyone and being like, but I'm not going to be calling anyone and be going like, hey, come have a look at this. You know, oh my gosh, that would probably be like the craziest and funniest experience when you look back at it. You'd be like, I can't believe I delivered my best friend's baby in the back of my car. I'd be like, how did I do that? Like, how did I do that? But then it's like, it'd be so weird, because then I'd be like, technically I was the first person to see Poppy, because it's like, because you're basically there and you're observing this child coming out. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think that this is right. That I've basically seen Bubby before Mum. Oh my gosh, it'd be crazy. If that happened. It'd be fun, but it'd be crazy. I'm probably going to have somebody comment like, part of you wants that to happen, doesn't it? And I'm kind of like, probably a small part of me does. But then at the same time, I would be absolutely petrified at the thought. I would be like, and I'd probably just be sitting like at the back of my car after like, I just delivered my best friend's baby. I just played midwife. I think I'd probably be crying. Because I'd be like, because it's like, I feel like I have sort of, with every bit of Robin's, sort of every one of Robin's pregnancies, I've got very invested, and I'm like, yes, let's do this, you can do this. And, where is that symbol? There it is. And I've even said, you know, oh, if you're in labour, you know, if say that doesn't happen, and you need someone to scream at, like, call me, and I will be screamed at. And, you know, I said that with, when she was having Dexter, you know, if you need someone to scream at, you know, call me. I won't care. You know, I think I'd be a bit like, where's my, oh yeah, she's in labour, she's allowed to scream, that's fine. You know, especially if it was like 5 in the morning. But also because it is that last week, I've also got that sort of hope that baby might be born on my birthday. And I've said to Robin, if that happens, that will honestly be the best birthday present you can give me. So yeah, it's literally I do have a little bit of baby brain, but I currently am on contraceptives, so no babies are happening. And also my wedding dress is very fitted, so yeah, there's definitely no room to adjust for a baby bump. Yeah, so yeah, I think, is that everything? I'm pretty sure that's everything that I've got. Oh, I managed to stretch this to like over 40 minutes, that's good. And my mom's just got back. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, leave a comment if you would like, consider subscribing, and I will see you all next time. Take care, everybody. Bye!